Well, I, for one, am absolutely shocked, baffled, and anything else in between all of that. Why? Well, prices have pretty much plummeted. Yeah, it looks like Wave 2 might fully be in swing, and aside from maybe a couple of outliers, everything has dropped, or even better, drastically dropped. So what does that mean? Well, we're going to go ahead and take a look at that and see what the prices mean in all of that. And wow, you might be absolutely shocked to see where Protector, Deadbloom, Predator, and even where Kaisa very well could be. All of that and more starting right now. Yeah. Gosh, if you would have told me 3 weeks ago where we would be at these current prices, I would be absolutely baffled because, I mean, it was, 2-3 weeks ago that we saw Kaisa absolutely skyrocket to $128 and even regular Kaisa to $114. It was even just a little bit past that where we had Deadbloom Predator that was hitting about $110. Time Warp has hit $110 at one point. And we have all of these high prices going on. I mean, we had Showstopper, from Set. His signature spell at one point was near $100, and now it's looking like it is down to near 30. This is really interesting because when you told me, a couple of weeks ago that, or when I saw Riot at least say that, Wave 2 was going to be coming, I was very hopeful at first. I was like, oh yeah, let's go. They're gonna be able to ramp up that production. They're gonna be able to get things going. And then things kind of started happening. We didn't quite hear what was gonna be going on, when it was gonna be fully sent out. We still don't know if it has even fully been sent out yet. But even with that, I was losing a little bit of hope. I'm not gonna lie, because especially when we saw all of a sudden these huge price hikes, it's like, well, what are these prices going to be able to do even if Wave 2 hits? Is there going to still be so much of a demand that we're not going to be able to then go around and get these cards that we want? Set 2 is coming out here soon. Spirit Forge is going to be hitting the market. And I was looking and being like, well, what's going on? What can we even do about that? And it's like, well, I don't know, man. It's like, if you still want to run the Kaisas, good luck. If you want to run other stuff and prepare, it's just not maybe going to happen. But it looks like Wave 2 has been in full swing and is still at least getting sent out as we see fit. There was a store, I went to a skirmish on Saturday, and the store in particular, they even did a pre-order again for Wave 2. You could get your boxes and things like that. And it was really special because there was a guy that I went against in the first round, and he was playing Yasuo, and, that's a very good deck. But it was mainly because that was all the cards that he could maybe get his hands on. And that was a little sad to see. But at the same time, it was really special because he was holding a box in hand. One that he was able to get at MSRP too. So he was absolutely ecstatic and could not wait to go home and open his new Riftbound product. That is special. And I absolutely love that the store in particular was able to do that. Great job on them because, yeah, they did a really special thing of allowing people to really get their hands on the product first and foremost. And even full boxes. I mean, that was really cool. And so, again, we are still a little bit up in the air on how much of Wave 2 are we going to have. Not only that, again, with how close we are to Spirit Forged, we are kind of at a cusp right now where the meta is up in the air. Everyone's kind of done with Wave 1. We're going into Wave 2. And it's like, well, what are we going to be seeing here? And now might be actually a pretty good time to buy. It still could be coming down. But at the same time, when Spirit Forge starts to come out, I think everything is going to have that momentary height. Especially with all the, contests and things that we are going to be having with the regionals. Everything's just going to go up, and then for about 2-3 weeks probably, and then it'll come back down to the normal. And so we'll see what ends up happening, but man, I am absolutely shocked here. So if we go ahead and look over at the prices here, Well, again, this is on Magical Meta. Links will be provided down below for you to be able to look at for yourself. And again, we do set to the 7-day to compare to the previous weeks. Now, this is really cool. I like this. Why? Well, look at these prices. Now, yes, we have, of course, first, the top 3 gainers of the week. We have the promo, which is actually going up. It's normally been between $90 and $100. Hasn't necessarily have much of a movement, but here we are. Then, Teemo Scout. Nexus Night Packs, the only way that you can pull a Teemo GG Easy. Has been around $300 for the duration of set 1. But guess what, guys? Nexus Nights are coming to an end in the sense of these set 1 packs. Meaning that, it is going to be taking a little bit of a turn here. And we'll see. It's going to be really interesting because Teemo very well could be even more rare than signature spells. And Teemo, especially with how collectible this card is, it's going to be fun to see because it very well could become one of the more valuable cards of the set. Teemo has a very big following, even just in the League of Legends in general. And then to have such a well-made card here is special. So we'll see how that all plays out, but I'm really curious to see what's going to happen. Then likewise, we are seeing Victor Overnumbered having a pretty big increase, going up 14% to $134. Interestingly enough, his signature version of this card has not really gone up in price, which is something to take a look at. Likewise, Seal of Discord going up to $17 again. Really fun to see there. Then of course Lee Sin and even the foiled stack deck going up to $866. And then of course we have Thundersong. We have been seeing in the meta that this is going to be a major player in this next set, the ability to go ahead and play a card and say, hey, by the way, you can't play any more cards for the rest of the turn. That's actions, reactions, as soon as Thundersong fully resolves. So, cool. That's really interesting. Then likewise, also really interesting to see the Solari Shine and Fortified Position even going up. I mean, of course, those are the low value cards, but it's still something to take a look at. Divine Judgment is going up in price, and that very well could, or actually going down in price, sorry. It could be going up in price here pretty soon, especially after the Draven tournament, which we're going to be talking about tomorrow, having just an absolute insane run, and now Divine Judgment might be one of the only answers to counter that meta. Likewise, one thing that I'm really curious about, Dazzling Aurora has plummeted. Not only that, Seal of Unity has fallen insane amounts too. It was only $50 a couple of weeks ago, and now it's down to $22. Likewise, the Whiteflame Protector is also looking rather good here at $28, which originally was between $60 and $70 for the longest time. Zhonya's Hourglass, which was $14, is now down to $5, almost $6 here. And Darius, which was $9 to $11, now down to $6. So really cool to be able to see all of this, and I'm going to be curious to see where we continue to go and what trends we are going to continue to follow. Booster boxes continue to come down, even regular boxes are now down to $236. That's still well over $100 from what we find on MSRP anyway, but again, might come down. Don't be too worried about the Spirit Forge booster display cases. Don't worry, this is TCG prices, and so there's a good chance that if you are able to find your pre-orders from your local game store, they're going to be already told or about to know their full allocation, and it's looking pretty good. I know some people who have told me what allocations that they are able to get, and it's looking really promising. Again, though, we might have that moment where people who pre-order and get their boxes early on are going to be able to get that product. Then we might have that little bit of scarcity again, probably going to be shorter than what we saw in Origins, and then we'll get that wave 2 coming to us, and we'll be able to mitigate, the high costs on things. Dazzling Aurora, though, coming down to $40. Not only that, Kaiser Survivor that you guys can see right here, now going $86. I pulled one on my Nexus night. I sold it locally for $75. It was awesome. And, we'll see how that continues to play out here. But I'm curious to see if these prices are going to be falling. Thousand Tail Watcher is at $25. Now, yes, I still want to see that near closer to $20 to $15, But even with all of that, Thousand Tail Watcher being now $24 instead of $40 to $44 is really good. We take those wins as we see them. And so, again, this is going to be really cool to see. I'm going to be curious to see where everything is going to continue to unravel here. And again, it looks like Victor and Purple in particular are going to be the highest bought cards here. And that's something interesting to consider. Just the fact that all of this is coming together like so. And then, of course, Kiana is being sold at $319 over the 7-day period, which is really interesting to consider. And that very well could be. There's a lot of orange that runs it. I mean, we'll have Lucian, we'll have Fiora, even Set if people are wanting to build Set 2 Set. Really interesting to see there. And so, again, though, purple looks like it is going to be extremely powerful and prevalent. I mean, you have Ezreal, Irelia, Draven, and even a couple others that could be going in, and they all kind of use the same cards. And so, again, that kind of popularity and that kind of color combination, especially with those power levels, are going to be really interesting to see how they all play out. Now, next, we have some interesting stuff here. Now, Teemo from the World's Box is going for near $165. Again, this could be a very rare card. We could see this also maybe not make as big of a climb, or at least as fast of a climb as the GGEZ Teemo in particular, especially just because the GG Teemo is probably even just a little bit better of a design. In the sense of it is more of that meme that Teemo is known better for. Instead, this is just a not a Panfoot, wow. I was watching Kung Fu. Anyway, a Panda Teemo in this case. And really cool to see. Again, though, the Kaisa has even come down, originally $128, now going down to $105. Good numbers to see, still incredibly high. We do want to see that come down even more, but again, this is very refreshing. And even with this Kaisa Survivor here, I mean, we are looking at these prices plummeting near $120 only a couple of days ago. I mean, that's December 28th. Now here we are on January 11th. And we're down to 87, give or take. So really cool to be able to see what that looks like. And then we also even have the Deadbloom Predator. Again, coming down. Look at how much that has just been going down. Now, again, in Spirit Forged, it's maybe not finding its place in the meta just yet. It very well could, but it hasn't. And so we got to keep that in mind as we go about this, that it could be going down to even $40 to $35, which was about the price that we saw for the first 2 days that this game was released. That was what it originally started at, and then it just shot up to $100, and that's just how it was. And, you know, sometimes that's just how card games are. But even like things like Time Warp going down to $57, again, we have a lot of purple that is keeping that in check. You know, and there's even a counter spell in purple that can stop Time Warp. And even Fiora has her signature spell, which can also stop Time Warp. So that might very well even be taking that step back. But again, Kaisa is still looking pretty good for the Spirit Forged meta, and so it'll be cool to see how all of that comes down. But even all these alt arts are looking really good. Again, though, Flash still being exclusive. We haven't had any Proving Grounds. Even if we do get Proving Grounds reprinted and sent out, it's going to be a crap show. Plain and simple. But we'll see how that all goes, and we'll see what happens there, because I don't necessarily think these kinds of exclusive cards are going to be taken down in price unless you are able to just print them out like what they're doing with the Nexus Knight packs. That's going to make a really big impact. But again, this might very well still be a $15 card in the Nexus Knight packs if they even happen to include Flash. So we'll see. Again, Showstopper now $33, insane price. Whiteflame Protector is probably one of my biggest surprises. Look at that plummet in price, peaking out near $80 on December 3rd, and now down to $28. Imagine how that feels. You get online just a month later, and now, oh, by the way, the card that I paid $80 for is now $30. And especially if you bought a playset, it's like, ugh. But again, it's not necessarily seeing a whole lot of play yet in Spirit Forge, and that's what a lot of competitors, that's what a lot of people are looking forward to, especially with all the regionals that are coming out. So, next with that, we got, yep, again, the Thousand Tail Watcher, the Acathian Rain, now down to 21. Again, Kaisa is still looking to be one of the best cards of this set, and so could very well be one of the cases here, and something to keep in mind. Invert Timeline's looking really good. The seals are coming down, and we move on. Likewise, we have Baited Hook, which was originally $40 for near this entire set, now down to $20, so looking good there. And then the Seal of Discord has gone up in price. Again, might be in anticipation of set 2, especially just with how powerful purple is. And then otherwise, here is the prices. Again, they just keep coming down. You go and click on one, you look at this, and you're like, yep, there's that plummet. Originally going up to $27, now down to $17. That's looking really good. Likewise with even the Set Brawler, he hasn't had as much of a decline, but still going from $38 down to $14 now at this point. That's not including like the Chinese cards, which is, I mean, that's near competitive for the Chinese cards. Also, this guy in particular has 0% rating so far. He's a new store, so keep that in mind. But that's, you know, you got to start somewhere, so not going to be bagging on that. But again, I'm a little bit hesitant sometimes with that. No, I'm not taking your survey. Even the regular Set Brawler, which is really interesting, is a little bit more expensive than the alt. So the fact that you can get an alt art set and a regular set for the same price is just absolutely crazy there. Really cool to see. Absolutely love this. And then otherwise, guys, the prices are looking really good. You have Unchecked Power, which could very well be very powerful in this next set. This could be a great answer, especially for what Draven is looking like doing. Then also we have the Guerrilla Warfares, we have Ari Inquisitor, we have Teemo that is absolutely, well, he's staying about the same. He was $11, $12 last week. And then we just have things that continue to come down. This is awesome. I absolutely love this, and this is a breath of fresh air for a lot of us because this game is becoming more and more affordable, and that's going to be the biggest thing here is what can we then do to prepare for Spirit Forge? And yeah, I'm glad you guys asked because that's going to be one of the videos that we are going to be talking about later this week. What decks can we start building now in anticipation for this next set? That's going to be a fun question to answer, especially when these prices are so dang low. What are your guys' thoughts about these prices? Is this a good thing? Is this going to be something that continues to drop? Or is this going to be a short-lived thing, and as soon as Spirit Forge comes out, we're going to be back in the same problem? Let me know down in the comments below, and until next time, guys, have a good one.